it's an exciting time for the band right now, man. And it's going to be an exciting time probably for the next, what, 3.5, 4 months or so.
Yes.
If not longer, man. It's really cool what you guys are doing in October out in LA. Let's get right to it, man. I'm ready when you are. Let's roll. Let's kick ass. Let's rock.
Let's do it.
Um, let's start with the reunion show, man. October 3rd, LA. It looks like a really, really, really special night, man. A lot of really cool things going. We only know a little bit, but what can you tell me about the energy of the band going into the reunion show in October? You're honoring Joey, and a lot of people are coming together for it.
Yeah. So right now we're just in the thick of the logistics. So many people have offered their support in a bunch of different ways. And of course, we're not going to spoil surprises, but we got a lot of great people involved from in all aspects of it, from stage management, all those fun little things. I got to be careful not to share too many secrets, but the energy right now is oh fuck, oh fuck, oh fuck, oh fuck, oh fuck, because we just did the Kickstarter. Now it's like, oh,
Yeah,
let's plan a show. Let's do this. It's actually happening. It worked. It didn't go up in flames. So
yeah.
uh, everything right now is just coming off the starting line for show prep plans. We're working on the set list. We're deciding how we're gonna transition, all the fun little things, building an entertaining night.
That's awesome, man. One thing I think is really cool is that Wednesday is going to be on the bill. Wednesday is coming out for it, man. And that right there shows that, you know, even though it's weird that we're just now coming up on 4 years since Joey passed. People
Mm.
still care. People loved that man, and for somebody like Wednesday to come out and be on that bill. Talk to me a little bit about how that came together and just how much that means. Obviously, we know how much it means, but for you guys.
Well, I have to give the props from the very beginning of this to Joey's family, especially the sisters, Katie and Annie. Annie reached out to me right at the beginning saying, "Hey, we've got the record. We want to put it out." And after I made sure it wasn't a scam and it was really her, uh, there was a big moment of shock. And everything after that, there's been just, they have not stopped trying to make this, as Joey would want, a
Mhm.
spectacle. So when I got the news that Wednesday, who I've only met once, who was an absolute pleasure to meet, great guy,
Mhm.
and when I found out, I was like, that's such a perfect, just words escape me. It's a perfect kind of
It's like
piece
a
to
full
this.
circle.
Yeah, it really is. So it's to be able to represent so many aspects of Joey's influence and talent, and have somebody who
Mhm.
is there with him in a totally different project. It's great, and I think that the fans are going to appreciate that. And I know he's going to do a great job because it's Wednesday.
Yes, yes, yes. Um, what can you tell me about the Joey Charitable Fund and what that's all about and how involved you guys are with that?
Well, I had recently, broached the idea of stealing from it, and they said I shouldn't be involved in it. But I say that to all charities that I donate to, as a joke. Um, Joey, in all seriousness, Joey was always adamant about music being an integral part of a kid's life because he knew
Yeah.
how that helped him. And of course, that was the same for myself. And when we were together in KoRn, John, same thing. We all came up, music hit, and there was nothing else. So he's always been passionate about that. And to be able to keep that going is a beautiful thing. So I'm hoping that we can, surpass everything and raise a bunch of money for that, however we can do it. I wanted to do a charity for a totally different thing, but don't worry about that. It's completely unrelated. Wanted to
Okay.
glue fake boobs on the back of camels.
That's
Nobody would care
perfect.
at all. I just thought, aesthetically that would be nice, and it would be safe, not going to hurt the camels. But yeah, but this is a good cause too, so I'm 100% behind it. I'll do everything I can.
Yeah. That's awesome, man. I love that. First off, that's a great soundbite for one.
Oh my man,
That's
she's gonna be
awesome.
so pissed. Yes.
Um, Open Your Omen. First off, fucking awesome album title. for one. That kicks ass from right there. But let's talk about the record, man. The Kickstarter over 95K. Um, the Obviously the band's been overly inactive for a couple of years now, but to relaunch the band, breathe life back into it, bring it back, then to see that much support from the fan base. Um, were you guys surprised at how much support and love you guys got, or were you guys expecting that? Um,
It's a mix. It's a mixture because I know how supportive the fan base is, because
mhm.
everything we've done, even if I post a picture of corn on the cob, there's 5 to 10, sometimes more people say, "Hey, Vimic." I'm like, that's not related. This is, I mean, you could have done a corn joke, but that eagerness for the record, questions about it. I mean, there's only so much you can say, especially for
Yeah.
those years when you're inactive, and it always felt bad. Sometimes I'd really be like, "Listen, there's nothing I can tell you right now, guys. I'm sorry."
Hmm. Yeah.
And to be able to now be able to answer questions a little bit and see the excitement. Of course, we were, there's always that fear. I wonder if this is going to crash and burn. It's a tough, whether it's economics or the weirdness of the times, or it's been a long time. So knowing those two things together, it was a mixture of yes and holy shit. So
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, $95,000. I mean, that's fucking insane.
it's going
But
to really help the show. It's going to help really make this thing possible. We really didn't want to cut corners, especially with producing the hard copies, all the stuff that we have to do, the merch, getting people out there. So everything that people did, the quality of this show is because of the fans, and we are extremely grateful.
I mean, it's a diehard fan base. I mean, the Slipknot fans came over with him right away and were all
Mm-hmm.
in. But it was also a very different style than a lot of people were used to hearing from
Yes.
Joey when it launched, which is one thing that really stood out about Vimic and you guys right away to me is this is different. This isn't something that we were expecting to necessarily hear. What can you tell me about making the record? Because I know I had seen one quote where he had said that when it came time to make the record, you guys really went back to basics in a lot of ways. What was making this record like for you guys?
Well, it started with a whole bunch of pre-production. I went out to Joey's house multiple times in the months before we recorded in Iowa at Sound Farm, and I would wake up and Joey and the former guitarist Chris, who those guys wrote a lot of the music together. They would be like, "All right, here's 3 songs that they worked on," and I'd wake up and I'd get my crackers and my pink notebook, and I'd go to the restroom, and I would just sit there. Don't worry, I wasn't eating crackers while I was pooping, but I used to just sit in the bathroom and listen to all the songs and just start working. And we would fire out 3 roughs, 2 to 3 roughs a day, and we had a bunch of songs that some of them will never be heard because we didn't end up doing it because we were going, let's
Sure.
write, and get the best. And the influences of everybody is what created that. And Joey wanted something different. I mean, that would have been
Hmm.
pretty. I'm sorry, I would say it would have been really lame to try to do Slipknot or reinvent that.
Yeah.
That was something he did. It was a different thing, and all the respect in the world. We didn't want to even mess with that. And so when I see comparisons, I'm like, that is a silly thing. It'd be like comparing when I, swimming poorly in my pool because I'm out of shape and terrible to me, chopping onions. It's 2 different fucking things. Everybody calm down.
Yeah.
People branch out.
Yeah.
So that was an exciting. Now there was the nerves of that, knowing full well that there was going to be expectations. So we had to push entirely the opposite, saying, doesn't matter. We're going to write stuff that we like. We're going to write wacky lyrics that aren't very metal sometimes, and we're going to have fun with those, and we're going to play harmonized lead solos, even though I made fun of those too, but they're fucking cool. So we just went shameless and just did what we wanted.
Yeah. And that's what made it so special for one. You had mentioned when his sisters hit you up and said, "We have the record." Um, I've read a little bit about how it took a minute to get to get the record, to get the rights to the estate had to get the rights. What was that do you know anything about what that process was like? Were you surprised that it was was it hard to get? Like,
In the music industry, nothing surprises me. Things are generally more difficult than they need to be, and that's beyond. It's not like there's an evil music industry villain or anything like that. It's that things are complicated and contracts are complicated. And honestly, when the band went on hiatus and then when Joey passed, I had just set it down and walked away.
mm-hmm.
I didn't have any legal ability to do anything,
Yeah.
and because of that, I just surrendered it, and because I would have gone insane. It was enough. And, as you know, one of my best friends was dead, and the music was already gone. And so at that point, I pretty much just tried to not wallow in grief and try to move on for my own personal mental stability. So that was the fun part, is that I had let it all go.
Yeah.
And then to wake up and be like, shit, I better start doing sit-ups and some vocal warm-ups.
Right. What was it hard to go back and revisit the music? What was it like for you the first time you heard Open Your Omen or some of these songs again for the first time?
It was a complicated thing because there's so much happy memories and pride in what we created, but it's attached to a lot of heartache. So it was a schizophrenic experience. There was a happy Kalen and a psychotic Kalen, and sometimes they would both be and just hug and cry. But that's part. I think that it was I thought that I had gotten over a lot of stuff. I thought that I'd healed.
Yeah.
But clearly not. And this was a perfect catalyst to realize, oh, buddy, no, you have not. And that's okay. So just keep doing it. I had to build some practice tapes for the boys. So we were going through like raw tracks and just remembering little sounds and things like that, hearing the drum overheads and like just going back in time and being there was awesome. And then like 10 minutes later, I'd be like, I really would like to eat a whole cake and a bottle of Jaeger right now. Just the entire bottle, glass included.
Yeah.
But we had to work. There was a time limit. We had to get things done. So there was kind of a expedited processing of emotions too.
Right. So does the band own the music now then, or does the estate own the music?
It's complicated stuff like that. The band, I don't want to get into the details of that because fortunately Joey's family has the rights, and the people we contributed, so we've got our parts of it. So it's kind of like that, but like starting to talk about the mechanics of it. The cool thing is everybody involved right now is in it for Joey and for all we want to do is get this record out to you guys. We want to play a really good release show, and that is all we're focusing on. We're not focusing on anything else other than getting the best show and giving you guys this damn record you keep asking me about, so that hopefully next time I post a picture of my Salsa Verde, I won't be asked about the Vimic record. Ask me about the Tomatillos, please. And all the love in the world, but come on!
I'm gonna have to ask you about the record though right now. How long is it?
Because it's happening. We're doing this. This is legit. It'd be great if I was like, really, dude? Come on.
How long has the record officially been done for though?
I think we recorded it in 2014, end of it, and we were mixing. So I would probably say sometime in 2015. So a decade.
Oh, damn. Do you have to relearn any of the songs after 10 years?
I have it relatively easy, except for I haven't done extreme vocals in quite some time. So I'm retraining my voice. Fortunately, I'm a vocal coach, but the boys, none of the guys have been, shedding Vimic songs for the last decade. It's been a lot. We meet every week and we talk about via Zoom and talk about like things and how we're going to construct stuff. But it's everybody is nose to the grindstone, relearning everything.
Man, what can you tell me about how you got connected to Joey in the first place, how you met him, and what can you tell fans about Joey that made him so special to you?
Well, I met Joey in 2007 when he became the temporary drummer for KoRn for the entire
Hmm.
2007 run. So in the beginning of 2007, we began rehearsing in LA at SIR, which where we'd done in 2006. I joined in the beginning of 2006, almost 20 years ago.
Oh my god. Oh, Jesus fuck.
I know. It's amazing. So I walk into rehearsal and there's a gentleman who's about my height, in the long black hair, and somebody was telling him, this is it's all professional. Like, just tell him how to do. And we're not drinking beer during practice. Of course, I had like my Bud Light. I was like, you can drink a little bit of beer and just walk by. And he laughed. We met up that day at practice, and he was like, "Hey, man, anything I need to know?" He was always, one of the things that caught me about Joey is he cared so much about everything and everyone. He wanted it to be right. He wanted it to be perfect. Sometimes he would just worry that he wasn't doing it right or good enough. Like, you're one of the best metal drummers of all
Yes.
time.
It's like you're Joey Jordison, man. Like,
but honestly, if he rode those coattails, he would have become a dickhead. You have to keep working and wanting to better yourself, and he did. So I'm trying to, like, I don't know, man. You're really good at drumming, but don't play too fast. So that's probably all you need. We laughed. He called me later that night while I was playing a little house poker with my friends, because that's how he used to make rent. And
nice.
now we're just doing it for fun. But he called. He's like, "Hey, man, I'm at the powerhouse across the street. Want to hang out?" And I pushed my money in. Guys, split it up. Gotta go see the guy, because there's something about him. And I've already met a bunch of people, and I had good friendships, but there was an instant connection between me and Joey. And from that night on, every night after practice, we were doing something, hanging out, just talking, listening to music, realizing we had some very interesting and diverse tastes that didn't get heard a lot. And it was just it. We were pretty much inseparable for all of 2007. And we used to joke around, we're going to do a band together one day. And 7 years later, he called me up.
That's awesome, man. So 7 years later,
2014, or
obviously,
no, yeah, it was about 7 years.
yes. Obviously, when it came time to do Vimic, um, Slipknot was in the past. Obviously, he'd come off as Scar the Martyr. What was it like working with him for Vimic? What was his energy like? Was he like just super fucking driven to make something special and kick ass? What was it like working with him for this?
It was like he was with everything he did. He was always thinking about it. Like he was a musical encyclopedia. He's like, "Oh, this sounds like this band and this band mixed together." I was like, if it's not Tom Waits, Joey, I'm not. I don't know, but let's do it. Every day he's on the couch,
Yeah.
working, playing riffs on the guitar, working with Chris, and just eating, drinking, sleeping, pooping, peeing, farting, music. Joey loved to joke about farts. He loved it. That's a little gift for the fans. So if anybody has an
I love
aversion to
that.
poo humor, sorry.
You're good.
It was intense, but it was always fun. I mean, it wasn't always fun. There was some intense, shit happens, but there was always love, and it was the love of the project and what we were doing. So if there was ever tension, it was it was out of frustration for it not being right.
Gotcha. Gotcha. So here we are 10 years later, and the band is back. Um, is it the same is it the same core guys from 10 years ago this time
It's
around?
Yes, after we got Steve Marshall, who did all
Hmm.
of our tours and stuff. After we got Steve, this has been the crew, and I love those guys. We our stomachs generally hurt from laughing if we're in the same room or on a tour together for a long time. We have a lot of fun. Um, so yes, it's the core of what Vimic became,
That's
and what
awesome.
I call this is Vimic. This is who we are. It's the four of us, or five of us. I don't know math, and it's Joey from Mars,
Yes.
keeping us
Yes.
on point, messing
That's
with us with
awesome.
his random ways.
Dude, the Kickstarter was really well done. The video is fucking amazing. So well done. Um, what was it like putting that project together getting the guys back together to do the Kickstarter? Whose idea was it? What was that process like for you guys?
Uh, when I spoke to Annie and then to Katie, and we kind of started going together, then we reached out to the boys, and everybody was on board. It was, long conversations and you know kind of getting over the shock, getting over, oh, what, how are we going to do this? And
Yeah,
then there was formulating plans, formulating. I'm having a word salad today,
you're good, man.
but
It's me every day. Yeah.
I try to be articulate. Once we started getting a plan, I brought in my manager from Mind Art Music, Crystal Gans, who is incredibly smart and is good at that stuff. Because I got the music, and I can make you an omelet, but this kind of situation. So Katie, Annie, Crystal, the smart people, they told us what to do, and they got a lot of help with the videos and everything. They were the reason that thing went off without a hitch, and we just did what we were told. I mean, there were some good ideas from the band. I'm going to say, don't put them in that. I just did what I was told. I purposely brought Crystal in because I didn't want to deal with the
Yeah.
logistics of that kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's beyond it's not in my zone of excellence, genius, or even, competence. It's in my zone of doy.
Yeah. I got you. That makes sense. Um, when you look at what this show is going to be in October, how does it make you guys feel knowing that this show is coming? And what do you think the energy is going to be like for you guys when you guys are backstage, the lights are about to go down, that crowd is there, and it's here? Or maybe when you guys walk into the building early that day, have you guys thought about what that day and that night is going to be like for you guys?
Well, if it's like hopefully we treat it like a show when we walk in. Usually we try to find the bathroom. It's important, and then that hurry up and wait thing, there's a whole cycle, and everybody kind of does different things to kind of prep. Everybody has their little rituals and methods. But I can tell you that for me personally, not speaking for everybody else, but I have a pretty good idea that similar thoughts will be had. We're going to play this show like it is our last, so that we have nothing left to give after that. Give every single thing. And that's an idea that that I try to play, especially with this emotional extreme music, to give everything. But this time there's a good chance this could be it, and that's a beautiful thing in a sense. And if whatever happens, but I'm going to really kick the shit out of myself for the fans and for Joey and for my boys in Vimic. It's gonna get weird.
That's what heavy metal's all about, though, man.
Truth.
It's rock and roll, baby. Um, Finally, man, this is a really big year for Vimic. It's a big year for you guys. Knowing that you guys have opened your omen, you guys have it. It's finally going to be heard, and you guys are back. What does just all of that mean to you personally and to the rest of the guys?
It's always come back to we put it on the press releases honoring Joey. It's become kind of the saying, but it's getting to close this chapter in a certain way and give the people that loved him and by proxy liked us so much, we can give that back after all these years. It feels like bands are the closest thing to a Lord of the Rings style D&D campaign. It's a bunch of adventurers who travel around getting into trouble and trying to do something and create something good. And this is like we finally did it after losing, the heart and soul of our party to tragedy. And now we get to avenge that. So that's how I'm feeling it. And it's a beautiful thing.
That's awesome. I love that. That I've never heard it. I've never heard it worded that way, but that's fucking perfect. Like that's great. Um, Heavy metal and pro wrestling have so many similarities. It's the same thing, and I can relate to the first thing you do when you walk into the venue is find the bathroom. I work a lot of pro wrestling shows. The first thing you do, Fans don't realize you're in that building sometimes from 10, 11, 12 in the morning
Oh,
until midnight. Like, it is boring as hell when you're in the venue waiting just to do your thing, man.
oh yeah.
So I sympathize with you on that one.
Well, that's having a crew and people that you can laugh with and get, we would escape and go, if we had 6 hours, we'd find the best taco spot. There's always
Yeah.
things you can do but sitting there, and this is something Joey and I learned about each other, that before the shows back with KoRn, Joey, if he didn't have something to do, would sit and start worrying about the set. What if I fuck up? And I was just like, Joey, you're pretty good at drums. And he'd be like, what if I, hey, how about this? How about we calm down? So we create some fun little rituals and we do some stuff after the show. I didn't want to see anybody or do anything. I'd always like, do be nice to the fans, but I really didn't want to like hang out or socialize. Or I'd turn on Tom Waits in the bus and just like, and Joey would come in. You need to meet people and be nice and hang out and come on, Dragon, come on. So we before and after. So the knowing this stuff, it's mindset and how to keep yourself from analysis paralysis and all the other jitters and nerves that come out with I'm excited about this show, but it's going to be a constant game of mental chess to not start worrying. And I'm just going to visualize Joey, come on, man, come on, you can.
Isn't it crazy how like some of the greatest of all time will worry the most about messing up and making mistakes when it's like, what, like, you're so and so, like I was the wrestling company I worked a huge show, ran a big show back in January, and I had to bring one of the WWE former wrestlers in, and he's like, man, I have this idea, like I don't know if it's gonna work. I'm like, I'm pretty sure they're going to react to you and care. I think you're going to be fine. You're so like, it's just crazy how some of those greats worry so much sometimes.
I mean, it's a strange thing because there's a lot of people who, in many, many fields, that get to a certain point and can calm down, relax, and coast. And sometimes that's a really good thing. But the people who have the drive that work so hard and are special that I have witnessed, they know how hard it was to get there, and they don't want to soften an inch or a bit. They don't want to lose anything. In fact, if there's anything left to grab, any more juice to squeeze out of that thing, they're constantly working, and that's a hard thing to do. It's like with chefs. The better you are at cooking in the professional chef world, which I did for a little bit, the harder your job gets, because you can't recreate. I mean, you can't ride a dish for that long. You have to better it and do this. It's music. Yeah. Joey was like that with drums. He hit a line and he was always trying to push it.
Gotcha. I do want to ask you, KoRn, how'd you get involved with them? How did that happen for you? I mean, what was it like coming into a band that was that established and at that time?
Wow. So I was just starting to do some little classes at Musicians Institute, my former music school. So I started to do some little open counselings where I was helping people, mostly with like screams and kids who wanted metal. And my brother was working at the music business portion of the school, and he called me one morning while I was hungover in my bunk bed. He said, KoRn's auditioning for background vocalist, and I hung up. I was like, no. Because I was doing a band.
I say that and hang up.
Yeah, I just hung up on him. And he called me again. He's like, dude, listen. Because I was in kind of a funk. There was, it was one of those things. I was really working hard on my music. And
you hung up. Okay, I thought you said he called you, said that and hung up. I'm like,
I hung up on him, and then I hung up again. Third time, he's my older brother. I was like, listen, I was so broke. They bought me the CD because I listened to it at Hot Topic because it was in the little listening thing. Man. So many times that the store's like, listen, dude, if you're not going to buy it, come on. I was like, so my brother bought it for me. My sister was basically I was 20, just 22. And so my sister kind of wrangled me to go to the audition. I wore a shirt that said "Ass is the New Mouth." Some of the students that I was working with that I was starting to help coach were there to audition. There was a nationwide audition process, I believe. I don't know how big it was, but a lot of people auditioned. I don't know if it was just certain schools, But I got the call back, and then I had to do another audition with the music director, and then I had to do another audition in Malibu, which I got a ride because my parents lived in Santa Barbara. I was like heading up to see them. I was either going to celebrate or be bummed. And Jonathan walks in with his family and two large bodyguards. And I was like, hello. And so they go into the control room. I'm just alone in the big vocal room. And I sing and I match the harmonies. I worked on, developing that. And they told me, sometimes John will take a while to listen. He'll think about it. So don't worry if you don't hear anything for a few days. Call me and Kalen, you got the job. Come on in. So I learned all the songs I could because I wasn't familiar with a lot of them. I loved a few records, but I wasn't like a massive fan. I had to learn all the songs and go into a big rehearsal. I was completely out of my element. Fortunately, they were so kind, and John, especially, who I ended up bussing with, we became, we were a little team. I would just go with him, and I got to learn by experience and not by bullying or, if I screwed up, they're like, hey, come on. So I learned a lot. That really helped my professional trajectory because I just saw how people at the top of their game treat people kindly with respect.
Yeah.
And there's so many, there's always issues and craziness, but my God, some of the best people to work for, and all of them were incredible.
That's awesome. I had to ask you about that because that's so. I mean, that's so good. It's just awesome that you got that opportunity and got to do that. So
yeah, at a very young age, getting to do that was an integral part in me probably not becoming a wasteoid. Thinking I could get away with getting screwed up and trying all this, thinking I was too big for my britches. It was humbling and educational, and what an honor I got to travel the world, and play for people who cared. So yeah, I'm still blessed and very, very grateful for that opportunity, even though I broke like 6 bones during that whole tenure.
Oh, Jesus. Wow.
Not all at the same time.
Oh, thank God. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
but it was worth it. Worth it for the show.
Yes. Metal. Gotta all out.
Too much.
Dude.
One hand.
Yes. Man, thank you for honestly for so many things. For one, for doing this today. For bringing Vimic back and giving the fans. It means a lot to the fans to have this band back and doing this the way you guys are doing it. I really believe you guys are doing this the right way and the best way that you guys can possibly do it. And I think that's why there's such a response and so much love and outpouring from the fan base because they can see that this is special. And thank you for bringing this music back and for doing the show and for honestly for giving us the record as well. Thank you.
Of course. Well, I remember this is because the fans are helping us. We're doing this together. So
yeah,
you're welcome, but also thanks to you guys and thank you. And this is a team thing. We did it all together. It's kind of almost hippie-ish. So when we're done with this, I'm gonna have to go punch myself in the nards to get the hate back. But this was everybody's involvement. So we're all part of this now.
That's awesome, man.